What is up, guys? My name is BobaTalks and welcome to a brand new Gotham video. Now this video is going to be mixed up with a couple of things. I wasn't going to do this because there's not too much new in what I'm about to tell you about, but quite a few of you are requesting me to do a breakdown of the exclusive trailer that Cameron Monaghan posted to his Instagram, showing a couple of extra scenes, but I'll just react and review to that here and now. And then I'm going to go on to the Gotham promo photos for episode 12, or the press kind of photos that they release for each episode, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about the synopsis, so that might be before or afterwards because they're introducing the Toymaker, which I think is pretty cool. But before I go on and talk about these things in this video, guys, if you do go on to enjoy this video, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like button. It only takes 2 seconds of your time and it just shows me that you're enjoying what I am doing on this channel. And if you're new to this channel, why not subscribe for more Gotham fix videos just like this, because I know you guys are wanting Gotham to come back, and there will be more just like this. But anyway, guys, let's get on with this. Also, as you're watching this video, I know you're a freaking huge Gotham fan and most likely a Jerome Valeska fan. I just want to show some love to William Gray. He just put out a piece of artwork today/yesterday, and it's actually my favorite piece he's done. What he does is he kind of he edits like certain photos of Jerome, makes him look like the future Joker, or just more of what he is already, and puts interesting twists on them. Like, for example, this one right here, he's done Jerome Valeska as the cover art for a replacement cover art for The Man Who Laughs comic, which is one of the first ever Batman/Joker-y kind of comics I ever read. So this is my favorite. I think Jerome looks brilliant there, and it really does make me like his look in Gotham now a lot more than, you know, what I did initially like with the Scars healing. But I'm going on now. Show this guy some love. He's brilliant. Check out some of his other stuff. I just think this is fantastic. It really does just make you think if Jerome had green hair, applied a bit of lipstick, red lipstick to his mouth, he would look phenomenal. And that is only a matter of time, as I'm sure we are getting Cameron Monaghan playing the Joker. Just it might not be quote-unquote Jerome Valeska, but I'm going on that. Links to his social media, which is mainly Twitter, I believe, where he'll post more photos just like this, more awesome edits, is in the description below, so check him out, guys. Okay, so now let's have a quick look at what Cameron Monaghan posted on his Instagram. I believe it says something like, you know, Gotham returns in just a couple of weeks' time. Here is an exclusive clip of future episodes to come. So let's watch it, and I have seen it, I believe, once before on his Instagram, but I'm just going to go over it again with you guys.
I've seen what's inside me.
Good old Brucey there.
I can be humorous,
but I'm never funny. What am I?
You've gone crazy. This is Gotham.
Make me laugh.
to the ground.
Gotham returns Thursday, March 1st on Fox.
Okay, right, so there are, as you can see, that's a very quick clip, but there are a few things to note that I find quite interesting, which we kind of haven't talked about in previous trailers, perhaps because some of these scenes weren't there. Okay, so the first main difference we see is Bruce talking to Alfred, and it seems to just be in like a cafe or like a, you know, a diner somewhere, and Bruce is saying, you know, I've seen what is in me, and then we get another close-up scene, and the background is dark, so I don't know if this is from the same scene. It probably is, but it just, I don't get how when they do the next shot, which you can see on the screen right now, it's just dark around him. But you never know. The only reason I say it is because stuff like this sometimes is cleverly cut together. You can have some sentences that actors do in different scenes that actually do go on really well with other scenes that they've done, and then it makes it, I don't know, it just helps the narrative of what the trailer editor is trying to do. But it makes sense for this to be a part of the same conversation, and there isn't much reason to go into speculation with this because it's not really that important. But I think this is just Alfred and Bruce meeting up. You know, considering what happened between them last time, you know, Alfred got fired because basically he's pissing off Bruce when Bruce is in this teenage angst, and that will be continuing on because we do see Bruce basically saying this is Gotham, with a little bit, I'm sure that's alcohol in his hand, and he just looks totally wasted as well. And this does lead into one of the promotional photos I want to talk about a bit later. So basically they are continuing this whole Bruce going out, being a billionaire playboy brat, which is going to become useful for one day when he needs to act like that, but fake, because he's already acted like it for real in the past. So we get why they're doing it, but there will be another episode, well, episode 12 for sure. I think it might end around episode 13 for all of you who can't wait for Bruce to get back to normal with Alfred. But that is what is going on here, and I think that conversation he's having with Alfred as well, as I mentioned a second ago, might be when he's, obviously sobered up, and he might be trying to reflect on what he's done. I don't think he's necessarily talking about, I've seen the real me, as in, the darkness inside him when he's getting drunk and acting like a douchebag. I think what he might be talking about is post-vision that Ivy potentially gives him, or if not from Ivy, the vision I'm talking about is the one where, we see the bats and the future Batman, and he says he's seen his inner self. But he could be talking about him being messed up, acting like a billionaire playboy for real, because he is quite a messed up person inside, and he's kept that locked away this whole time. We get an extended look of that scene with Riddler, or should I say Edward Nygma, with the blood around his face, or sorry, upside down. Now, God knows what could have created that. Could have been fight pit related, could have been anything else, could just be Ed biting someone to get out of a situation. But he's saying a riddle. It could be humorous, but never funny. I think this is generally Ed getting back into his whole Riddler persona, because we do know from the previous episode that really is coming back full swing now. But yet again, they've separated the Riddler persona to the Edward Nygma persona in terms of how Ed generally is a bit more of a nicer guy than his alter ego. And, he struggles between that. But, we're definitely getting the Riddler back. It's inevitable. So maybe this is our first look at intelligent Ed actually coming back, because as we kind of saw from Lee Tompkins, he's actually kind of had that intelligence all along, but he's just been a bit divided. We get a couple of extra different angles at Jerome. Not actually really new proper looks for you Jerome fanatics out there, but it is just Jerome, hands behind his back, looking around as if he's looking at Penguin. And notice how there is security where they're at, because the funny thing is, in all the previous trailers, with all these fights going on, it's like, where is the Arkham security? Where is everyone? Sure, he could be bought off, but I don't know. Just wanted to point out the fact that there's a guard in the background, because it's just like, well, he's probably not going to do his job, because something is going to happen to get Jerome Valeska out. Now, we do see that Joker card fall, and it looks like Penguin is looking up from the Joker card being on the table. Now, I will say I still believe that that has just been cut to look like Jerome's dropped it. Penguin is looking at that. However, I think that still is a separate scene of Penguin just, going like that, and they just cut it, together, because you do get people who post in the comment section saying, can you not see that Jerome look, put the card on a table and Penguin looked down and clearly that was Jerome? Not really. However, if they do actually do this in the episode, then freaking amazing. Like, Jerome has, finally puts perhaps a Joker card down. That would be great. However, I do think that it could just be another inmate. Obviously, Jerome's in the same room. It's very foreshadowing. That's all I think that is. But if they actually got Jerome with a deck of cards and he just takes one out, puts a Joker card down, that would be brilliant. I would love to see that, but that is yet to be seen. But I'm saying this because, as I said, trailer editors and just stuff like this in terms of storytelling and teasing in trailers, they love to cut things like this to excite the fans. Now, in this scene here, we hear Selina saying, "You've gone crazy," and I am extremely confident that she is talking to Ivy Pepper. Now, this is probably obviously in episode 12. I think it is part of the synopsis, which I will be reading out after this. Ivy Pepper introduces herself to Selina in yet again another body, or should I say the same body. And I think, she's going to be not only changed physically, but also mental attitude and wanting to, create her own green paradise in Gotham. I think something like that is going down in this conversation here between her and Selina. She's probably saying what she wants to do to Gotham, how much she wants to, how much plans she's got for Gotham. And Selina's probably just thinking, you're crazy. And not only that, we probably saw, I think, if I remember correctly, Selina actually witnessing some of Ivy's new powers. So Selina's probably pretty overwhelmed because she already had to adjust to Ivy Pepper transforming into Maggie Gayer, and now she's witnessed yet again another transformation, and her friend, who was just a little girl who she used to look after, is now killing people with plants coming out of their freaking every orifice. So yeah, you can only imagine what is running through Selina's mind. But I think they will team up because, as Ivy said in one of the previous trailers, let's make Gotham our bitch or something like that, which is brilliant. So is she gonna kind of join the Sirens? I don't know. I think it might just be a Selina Ivy thing. Ivy's gonna be a bit of her own antagonist in her own little arc for, I'm sure, like 2 or 3 episodes maybe. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'm glad we got a little bit of a tease between Selina and Ivy, the 2 original girls from season 1. It's brilliant, even though Ivy's in a different body. Now, I quite like this shot because I think I've seen the raw footage of this a couple of months ago, maybe a month and a half ago, when they actually shot this. I was going to make a video on it, but I'm kind of hesitant on making stuff about you know, what fans have filmed themselves on set, which I guess, you know, is very, very spoilery. We actually did see this scene of Jim, and I believe that's Bullock next to him, shooting these two guys opposite the street, or shooting at them. And those two guys happen to be Victor Zsasz and Headhunter, who has returned. God knows how he survived, but he has. So it's going to be interesting to see Headhunter again. But also that Victor is kind of teamed up against him here. So I wonder what is going on here. I would love to know your thoughts in the comments below, but that is a cool tease within itself. We also see some more Headhunter here with a couple of his henchmen. I wonder what he's getting up to. Obviously working for somebody. Could it be Sophia Falcone, since Victor Zsasz has kind of pledged his allegiance to Sophia? In this scene we get that explosion, which we have seen in a previous trailer. I did think for a second, could it be Arkham from this shot right here? But those lights coming from the ceiling are different to the ones we see in the scenes with Jerome and Penguin in Arkham. So I do not know what place this explosion is going off at, but could it link with what Enigma said in the scene before, where I think he says, let's burn it all to the ground? I think that he could just be talking to Lee there, or doing like an inspiring speech saying, you know, let's take control of the Narrows, or, you know, if these people aren't listening, let's burn this whole place to the ground. Something like that. And second to last, we see Bruce burning his Batman mask, which Alfred made him. I think, as I said, this is just continuing on from his little rebellion stage going through. He will be putting on the vigilante suit again. And I think we have had teasers from interviews with, like, discussing films, or multiple interviews with Darby Mazouz conducted by different people, that, you know, the bat suit, prototype suit, should I say, will be forever kind of upgrading. After all, it has to keep going and going and going, right, until it becomes the Batman suit. So this, even though the mask is getting destroyed, makes me very, very excited, because I'm hoping that we'll get a bit of a better cowl, not one with ears or anything, but the fact that they're burning this means we're going to get a replacement. So Gotham, please don't just replace it with the same one. Not that I have too much against that one at all, really, but it's just use it as an opportunity to, I don't know, put a comm system in it rather than an earpiece, or, I don't know, something really cool. But, you know, he will be coming back. Don't worry, guys. Bruce will put on the suit again. We'll have to put up with a little bit more of this teenage rebellion mode, whilst Alfred has been outcast. And lastly, we see Jerome here laughing. This scene we've seen a few times before, but I'm pretty sure they've actually used the true audio of his laughs this time. I could be wrong, but I feel like in the other trailers they just used a different laugh. But here it feels different from the other trailers, and it is just such a brilliant ha 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 laugh. It's so jokery, and I just think it's fantastic. But that is it for the trailer, guys. That is all there is to say about it. I know I went on for a little while, but there isn't much more than that, because it is more or less some of the same scenes. I picked out some of the different ones, which, you know, there isn't so much left to say about it. But if I missed anything that you wanted me to talk about, let me know in the comments below. I do read every single comment, so be sure to post anything if you want to talk about it. So guys, this is the synopsis for episode 12, which I probably should have read out before in time for that trailer, but nevertheless, this is it. Gordon is called to the scene after the Toymaker is hired to assassinate one of Gotham's doctors. Lee Tompkins begins to try and rebuild the Narrows with Enigma as her partner. Meanwhile, Alfred's new life in the Narrows becomes complicated, and Ivy reveals her new persona to Selina. So the main thing that stands out to me, apart from what I've already discussed, you know, how Ivy is going to reveal her new persona to Selina, which is very exciting, and Enigma being Lee Tompkins' new partner, and are they going to explore that whole love thing? I don't know. That is yet what remains to be seen, but I really hope not. Is the Toymaker. Now, the Toymaker, I believe he debuted in the Batman animated series, not Batman the animated series. It's the Batman one. But essentially, the Toymaker is, well, quite literally a toy maker. I believe he didn't. I think he had some conflict with Bruce Wayne in that animated series, and he used his toys, you know, his dangerous toys, to try and kill Bruce Wayne or try and get revenge on him. Obviously, this is going to be a bit different in Gotham, because Bruce is only, what, like 16 in the show, so they're not going to do that kind of arc. I like how Gotham kind of, uses these classic villains and, you know, try and give a new foundation for them in this show. So obviously, as we see from the synopsis, Gordon is called to the scene after the Toymaker is hired to assassinate one of Gotham's doctors. So what I will be really excited to see, and I'll be very shocked if we don't, is the Toymaker's toys being the tools that are to assassinate this doctor. I think this is quite exciting. The Toymaker isn't an absolutely huge villain at all, but nevertheless, I find like these are little gems in the show, and I'm really excited to see what kind of way they're going to represent him. It could be good, it could be very bad, or it could just be like a fillery kind of villain. But either way, let me know if you're excited for it. Let me know how you think the Toymaker will be involved other than just trying to assassinate one of Gotham's doctors, as it says in the synopsis. Okay guys, so now on to the promo photos. This has been quite a long video, to be honest, because it's like a Gotham mega video. But the main things, now all of these photos aren't completely relevant. I'm going to be showing them on the screen. Some will be to do with exactly what I'm talking about. But let's talk about the ones with Nigma and Lee Tompkins. As you can see, they're in the Narrows, in the Fight Club, in a couple of them. I think they might explore the whole love thing that I think the Riddler teased to Nigma at the end of, you know, last year's episode. Which is going to, I don't know how I feel about that. Love to know your thoughts in the comments below. I hope they don't make this a whole freaking Isabella thing Mark 3 for Nigma to get, you know, enraged by. But either way, throughout these photos, we see that Jim Gordon visits the Fight Club, which we've also seen in a trailer. I think Nigma said something along the lines to Gordon saying that is so Gotham. I think obviously Jim might have heard about Lee taking over the Narrows or whatever, but either way she's going to have so many resources and newfound power and privilege with that role that Jim might be able to use her position of power to aid him in, I don't know, maybe the Toymaker's investigation, since that is the main thing in this episode. Maybe she knows this other doctor since, you know, she is Dr. Lee Tompkins herself. But that is just speculation on my part. We can see Nigma on stage, just like we saw at the trailer in the end of last year, where we heard Nigma say something like, you know, thank you for waiting, because we had to wait so long for Gotham to come back, March 1st. But then we also see Dr. Lee Tompkins on stage as well, and I think she's, you know, just asserting her power, perhaps just being a host of the night. Are the fights still going in the Fight Club? Who knows what Lee Tompkins' new vision is? We know she's not a complete scoundrel or anything, so... But she's also going to have to maintain a certain persona to keep up the Fight Club, you know, and keep that going, but also maintain the respect of the people that she's now acquired. Now, these scenes with Selina, Tabitha, and Barbara, better known as the Gotham City Sirens of this day and age in Gotham. This is the scene where I believe Ivy, which we have seen from the previous trailer as well, I keep saying that, but as we see Ivy here walks in and Selina's like, I think I swear I recognise you. She doesn't actually say that, but I bet that's what she's thinking, or the character's thinking. And this is where she's going to introduce herself, and that is when we're going to get the moment in the trailer we talked about earlier, where Selina basically says, you know, you're crazy. It's going to be a cool moment. Peyton List looks beautiful here, true Poison Ivy fashion, and you know, I think Selina knows probably, or is getting a weird feeling as soon as she sets eyes on her, and she's probably thinking, for crying out loud, Ivy again, really. Now, this photo of Bruce sitting in this booth in the club or whatever with these two girls in his arm, very, very playboy, billionaire Bruce Wayne, billionaire playboy Bruce Wayne. He's got that same cup, and basically it is just straight from the trailer where he says, this is Gotham. So yeah, that's a bit cringy. But yeah, essentially, Bruce getting slaughtered, you know, acting out, numbing his pain with alcohol, drugs, and God knows what else. All a part of what I've explained already. I don't need to repeat myself there. I wonder who he is talking to when he says this is Gotham. Is it in that Sirens bar? I don't know. It could be Alfred again attempting to reach out to Bruce. It could just be Jim, and he's just saying, you know, this is Gotham. You know, F this, F that, blah, blah, blah. But you get the gist. And lastly, it looks like we're getting another Jim and Barbara reunion. Now, yes, yet again, I will be saying it. This was teased in the first trailer for, you know, Spring, which came out the end of last year. Immediately after the last episode, actually, we saw that scene where Jim approached Barbara, and she was like, be careful what you wish for, Jimbo, or something like that. And I think, you know, at the end of the day, Jim is kind of, doesn't want to be allies with Sophia Falcone. And he says, you know, if I go down, you go down too, or something like that. But ultimately, she has got him in a vice. You know, he's stuck. And I think Jim's going to be making other allies through Barbara and God knows who else to try and root out the worst. I'm excited for this because I really like Barbara this season. She's rocking it. I love the history behind Jim and Barbara, and I just wonder what she can offer Jim, and you know, what is he wishing for, since Barbara says be careful what you wish for. Maybe it is some help to get rid of Sophia Falcone, and I wouldn't be surprised. But other than that, guys, this video has gone on far too long as it is. I hope you liked this Gotham mega video. That's what I'm going to call it, because it is quite a long one. We covered like 3 different things, I think. But if you enjoyed this video, guys, and you want more videos just like this, let me know in the comment section down below, and just give it a like, as it really does show your support for the channel. If you're new to this channel and you like what you saw in this video, then why not subscribe for more content just like this. You can follow me on social media. The links will be popping up around here. I am quite active on Twitter. That is mainly where I just speak my thoughts, and you can stay a little bit more up to date with me with this channel, and you know, just anything that will be coming out in the future. Thank you to every single one of my patrons as usual. I really appreciate your support, and if you want to become a patron of this channel, go over to my Patreon page. The links are in the description below. Hopefully you like the tiers set up. If you don't, let me know what you think could be improved on them, and you know, what you would like to see if you wanted to become a patron. Other than that, guys, I think that's everything. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.